can't believe I used to live a life where my days weren't planned out. I would live my life where I would try and remember things. My mind shouldn't be used for remembering things. It should be used for coming up with ideas. And so I used to have soccer training and I would forget what time training's on. And I'd have uni and I'd forget what time my uni classes were on. I'd have to check every day and I'd make sure even on that day that I had to go, multiple times during the day, I would check what time's it on. And I would constantly be stressed out. What time is this on? What time is that on? What time do I have to do the job interview? And living that life wasn't great. Having to constantly remember what time, what day do I need to be turning up. The mindset that completely changed that was the plane and the pilot. And so the pilot, they do all the checks. They set the destination. They make sure everything's correct and working before the plane starts. And then once that's working, they get the plane and they lift it off, and then they let the plane go in autopilot. They've set the destination, they've set the route, they've got all the checks complete, and the plane just goes straight to the destination. And so to be productive, to not be stressed all the time about when we've got to remember to do things, what's in our calendar, you need to focus on becoming the pilot, planning out your day the day before, making sure you've done all the right tasks. You know what tasks you need to do as well that haven't been completed. You need to plan your next day the day before. That's the pilot's job. Make sure you've got all the tasks that you know you need to do planned out and time allocated. And you know you've got a meeting, or if you've got appointment you need to attend, make sure that's in the right time. You know that you've got to turn up to it at a certain time. You've got time to actually travel there as well. And so that's the pilot's job. Make sure he knows the destination, all the things that need to get done to actually get there. And then when it comes to the next day and you wake up, you need to be an autopilot. You've set the destination, you've set all the tasks you need to do. And so the pilot does 95% of the preparation, and the plane does the 95% of the work when it comes to actually flying and doing the results. And so that's what our life needs to be. You need to prepare 95% of the next day, the day before. And then so when it comes to actually doing and executing the next day, and you've woken up, you don't need to be thinking about what time do I need to do this? When do I need to do that? What tasks do I need to do today? You've already got it planned out, and you can be an autopilot for that day. And so what I found that doing this has actually reduced the stress of when do I need to do that? When's this appointment on? I can just go in my calendar and I know in 2 days at this time, I've got this appointment. And it's going to take me half an hour to get there. And so I just allocate half an hour of traveling time, and you don't need to stress about it anymore. You just got this calendar and you can look at it from a monthly view, a daily view, an hourly view. And so creating it like a Google Calendar account, and just at the start, it's not going to be easy to actually start using it because you've never done it before. But once you've got into this routine, you're implementing these systems, it'll take you 5 minutes the day before to plan out your next day. And that'll save you hours of procrastination, and hours of procrastination will save you years of progress in your life, especially if you expand those hours over months and years. And so that 5 minutes of planning your day or being in that pilot mode will save you from being in a plane crash. Not a literal one, but like your life not going to where you want it to go. And so when I figured out this mindset and I really started incorporating it, what I would do is I would create just a blank page on Notion, and I'll figure out what are the main things I want to do each day. So you can kind of create an ideal daily routine. So I want to focus on the first few hours of the morning working. Then I want to go for exercise, do a gym workout, go for a walk, and then have lunch, then do some work in the afternoon, and then wind down, do like a daily review, and then plan the next day. And so I wrote on this document just a checklist of what are the main things I want to do each day. And then within those checklists, you can have smaller checklists of I've got to do this task, and this task to complete that bigger task. And so you can almost create like a checklist for yourself, like how pilots have the checklist. I need to make sure this is on, make sure that's on, make sure this is turned off. Same thing for yourself. Create a checklist of your perfect day. What things are you doing? And then go in your calendar, create a calendar account on Google, create a Google Calendar account, and just implement how long is it going to take this task. Or will it take 2 hours? So I'm going to time block 2 hours in the calendar to complete that task. Or I want to have some free time in the afternoon where I can just sit and think, maybe read a book. Okay, put that in your calendar. Maybe you want some time to go through your emails and do some to-do lists or things that might come up during the day. Okay, I'm going to put another 2 hours in the calendar that's blocked out specifically for that time. And so then you've got time to do things. If it's not planned, you're probably going to forget about it. That's why I was always stressed about what time I've got to do things. Go to uni, go to my soccer practice as well. I was always stressed out because I would forget what time and I'd have to constantly look and update in my own mind when the time was, rather than just writing it down or having it on my calendar. I could refer back to it quickly and easily, and I would never forget. So having that calendar and having that plane and pilot mindset really helped me make a lot more progress, have a lot better of a routine to stick with, which helps you make more progress. So I really think for this video, action steps for you are figure out what does the perfect day look like and what's a checklist, and create a checklist for that perfect day. And then also set up a Google Calendar account and start, trying to plan out your day the day before. I think if you do that, it'll actually help with getting that plane and pilot mindset, and also helps with making progress and having a routine in your life. Now, I hope you found value out of this video. Try and implement those action points, and I'll see you in the next video.